Hi, today I want to give you a little explanation and demonstration of a technique which I think is going to help you greatly in terms of preparing for your own Part 2 test, but is also going to be incredibly useful for you to put into your instructor toolbox and use it when you're teaching your students as and when you get to that point. Okay, now I'll go into a little bit more detail in a moment, but briefly, this is called the go, don't know process principle technique, whatever you want to call it. And it's a very, very simplified form of commentary driving, which is why I say I think it's going to greatly help you prepare for your Part 2 test, because in my experience, when you start to get into commentary driving, you start to suck in a lot more information than perhaps you had previously taken on board whilst you're driving, and when you take in that additional information, you process it correctly, then it tends to take your driving standard up several notches. That said, I appreciate that a lot of people find commentary driving quite difficult to do, particularly in the early stages. To keep that constant commentary going as you're driving along, it can be quite a bit of a challenge, and it will take practice for it to become fluid. So using this go, don't know process technique instead in the early stages, I think is going to be a massive help to you, as it is a massive help to students as and when they get to the point where they are trying to take on more independence for themselves as a driver, rather than being reliant on their instructor. They're trying to do the same as what you're doing in terms of preparing for your Part 2 test. They're trying to use those 5 core skills that we refer to so often. They're trying to observe the world, taking whatever information they need as a driver, and then process it, and then use that information to improve the standards that they're driving, to allow them to feel like they've got the confidence and capability of being able to make lots of, if not all of the decisions for themselves quite safely, appropriately and correctly. Okay, so that's sort of like just a quick broad overview. So let's go into things in a little bit more detail. So as a driver, if you think about it, we really only ever have one of 3 choices that you can make. And these are what we call go, don't go, and don't know. So, again, in my experience, even with very novice drivers, when you can go and when you can't go, or you don't go, tend to be very, very obvious. You don't need loads of driving experience behind you to be able to get it. It tends to be pretty damn obvious. So, for example, a go is, you've got a relatively open road in front of you. There might be parked vehicles around, but other than that, there's nothing else really kicking off. There's no reason for you to slow down, adjust your speed in any way other than perhaps speed up. And you can just see it's quite safe to just drive, so you just go. You don't overthink it, you don't overanalyze it, you just go. And then there are other situations where you don't go because you can't go. So, for example, a red traffic light, a stop junction, a queue of stationary cars in front of you that stop for whatever reason, a pedestrian crossing the road, something blocking the road. Again, even with the most novice of drivers, and of course with yourselves as well, you don't need to overthink it, overanalyze it. It's obvious. You just don't go, okay, in that particular moment. And then, so this is where the simplified bit comes in, if you like, because everything else that we then have to deal with as drivers, so we've got junctions, roundabouts, traffic lights, pedestrians, cyclists, varying speed limits, varying road conditions, etc, 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 blind turns, blind bends, we just lump it all together and we just put it under the category of don't know. Okay, so What I mean by that is anytime you're driving along and there's some form of question mark that sort of appears in your head based on what you can see going on around you, then that question mark means it's a don't know. So again, let's give you a few examples. So you're coming up towards a T-junction, give-way line, maybe you're preparing to turn left. As you get to the give-way line, let's say it's quite a closed junction, are you going to know as you approach that give-way line whether you're going to be able to keep the car rolling or you're going to need to stop? At that exact moment, when you're still heading towards the give-way line, you don't know. If there's a car that's got, or it's in a driveway and it's got its reversing lights on and it starts to back out, has that driver seen you or not? Again, at that moment, you don't know. If you see a pedestrian maybe walking towards the curb edge, but they haven't looked over their shoulder, are they going to cross the road in front of you or not? Again, at that moment, you don't know. If you've got a cyclist up the road that you are preparing to overtake, could they possibly swerve in front of you, maybe around the drain hole cover or something like that? Again, at that moment, you don't know. Heading towards parked vehicles, perhaps on either side of the road, and there's another vehicle approaching in the opposite direction, and you're about sort of roughly equal distance away from that gap. Who's going to go through that gap first? Who's going to give way to the other person? At that moment, again, you don't know. Same with blind hills, blind bends, literally any scenario whatsoever where there is a question mark that comes into your head and you're thinking, I'm not quite sure here. I don't know exactly what is going to happen next and how I'm going to need to deal with it. And whenever you get that, the golden rule is simply take your foot off the gas, start to slow down, a little bit of brake if needed, and then keep bringing the speed down, keep bringing it down, keep bringing it down until that don't know changes. And it always does 100% of the time, either to a go or a don't go. Okay, so I'm now going to give you a little demonstration drive. I'm going to drive around my local town here in Pocklington. It's only going to be for about 10 minutes or so, and I'm going to put this into action. So you're going to hear me doing the commentary as I'm driving, but as you will notice, I'll give you a little bit more information just so it's obvious to you, particularly when I'm saying don't know. But you'll see from this demonstration, hopefully, how easy it is for you to use this style of very simplified commentary driving, and also how easy it is for students to understand it and start using it for themselves as well at the relevant point in their training. So this isn't the stuff that you would do with them right at the very early stages when they're still struggling to get a grasp of how to mechanically drive a car. Okay, so you need to wait until you get to the point with students where the driving side, the mechanical side of driving a car is pretty much second nature to them. But what you're now wanting them to do is to take on more and more and more responsibility for the decisions that they're making on the road, and to be able to drive confidently and safely without really too much or any guidance from you. Okay, so let's have a look at it in action. I'm going to twist the camera around in a second, put the seatbelt on, go for a little drive, and I'm sure it's going to make sense to you when you see it in action. Okay, so I'm in a car park with maybe 10 or so other cars, so I'm just preparing to pull away, and let's see what happens. Okay, nobody near me at the moment. There are some people who have just parked up that have got their boots open getting out of the car, so they're not going to cause me a problem. And now I'm just scanning up the road ahead. Okay, so at the moment it's a go. vehicle's only slow, but it's still a go. Still a go. Still a go. I'm coming up to the end of the road and I'm preparing to turn left. And there's a car putting out of the car park, and there's a person that looks like they're going to cross in front of me, so I'm going to call that a don't go. Even though technically I have priority, I don't want to take a risk and cause those pedestrians a problem. Okay, so back to a go, but then almost immediately it's a don't know, because I don't know if I'm going to need to stop at this T-junction or keep the car rolling. Okay, it's going to be a go after this black car has just passed, and I'm straight onto a roundabout. I'm going to be turning left. Again, it's a don't know at the moment, and now it's a go. So come off the roundabout, can't see clearly up the road ahead, so I'm back to a don't know, so start to slow down, and now I can see it's a go. Even though I've got vehicles coming towards me and cyclists, it's still a go, so I've got plenty of room to play with. It's still a go, but just up ahead I've got a roundabout, mini roundabout, so as I approach it, it's going to be a don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to carry on driving, and go straight on. Still don't know, still don't know, still don't know. It's a go. Okay, got a pedestrian approaching the crossing. No, they're getting in their car. So I'm going to be turning right here. Okay, so again, I can't see what's in the new road. Got a bit of a blind view up the road as well, so it's a don't know, still a don't know, still a don't know, don't go, because that car, that Land Rover Discovery is approaching quite quickly, and now I'm back to a go. Okay, still a go. Empty road in front of me. There are parked vehicles around, but I've got plenty of space to play with, so it's still a go. Still a go. There are pedestrians either side, but it doesn't look like they're preparing to. Oh, now somebody's looking, and now a lady's walking across with a dog, so I don't know if they're going to walk out, but no, they're going to wait, so I'm back to a go. Okay, got a bit of a blind view just up ahead, so it's a don't know. Back to a go. Back to a don't know for this motorbike rider and the car. The car's pulled in and stopped, so it's back to a go. Don't know for this blind bend. Back to a go. Clear road ahead, there are pedestrians around. Don't know because of this car now coming towards me. It's quite a tight space to get through. I don't know with this cyclist. Now it's back to a go. So all I'm doing whenever I'm saying don't know, I'm just bringing the speed of the car down to give myself time to think and to plan what I'm going to do next. Okay? So I didn't know what that lady was going to do. She was opening the door. Because I brought my speed down, the answer became pretty obvious to me. I'm going to turn right here. So again, this is a don't know, because I don't know what's in this new road. Okay, still don't know, still don't know, still don't know, and it's a go. Only for a moment, because now I've got a van in front. I don't know if there's anything coming the other way. Now I do, so it's back to a go. Still a go, because I can't see any other vehicles coming towards me, so it's okay for me to come past these parked vehicles. Still a go. Don't know, because I've got a cyclist there on the edge of the road, got a car coming towards me. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen next, so just start to slow down and wait until the answer becomes obvious. So it's back to a go. Still a go. There is a pedestrian on the pavement, but it doesn't look like they are interested in crossing the road. I've got a vehicle coming towards me. I don't know if they're going to force their way through. Okay, now I know what they're doing because they pulled in and come to a stop, so back to a go. Okay, got a blind bend just up ahead. I don't know if there's anything just out of sight that I might need to react to. Just bringing my speed down. Now I know it's safe. Just keep an eye on these pedestrians. They're waiting, so it's back to a go. Coming up to a roundabout. Don't know if this lady with the buggy is going to walk in front of me, so I'm just slowing down. I'm going to give her priority and let her go. Back to a go. All clear at the roundabout, so it's a go. Coming off the roundabout now, turning right immediately. Again, it's a don't know because I can't see whether it's safe to turn right or not. And now I've got a car coming towards me that I'm going to need to stop and give way to, so it's a don't go. Now I can see clearly it's a go. I've got a pedestrian crossing in front of me, so I'm going to say this is a don't go. Again, even though technically I've got priority. Back to a go. Coming back in towards the car park now. Don't know if this car's going to pull out. Now I do because they've stopped waiting. Coming back into the car park. Can't see any vehicles that look like they're manoeuvring in any of the parking bays, so we're still a go. And then we're pulling into a stop. So clearly that's going to be back to a don't go. Okay, so I do hope you found that demonstration and explanation helpful. It is something, of course, as you will see from watching me demonstrate it, that you can go out and practice on your own straight away in your own car, pretty much wherever you're out driving, or you can do it with your partner as well if you want. Might find it a little bit more relaxed and easier to do if you're on your own. And what I would encourage you to do is just keep it nice and simple to begin with. Just literally use that go, don't know, but then to help you work towards, if you like, more advanced styles of commentary driving, like I was doing as I was driving around, start adding a little bit more language in to that commentary that you're giving, if that makes sense. So, as I was doing it, coming up to a giveaway line, it's a don't know, and then you could add in coming up to a giveaway line, don't know, still a don't know, I can see a car, I can see a pedestrian, still a don't know, still a don't, now it's back to a go. And now I can see this, and now I can see that, and now I'm thinking this, and now I'm thinking that. And then as you get more and more comfortable with talking out loud whilst you're driving about the things that you're seeing, what those mean to you, in terms of what that information represents, how you're then processing, should I say, that information, and you're using it to help you make good judgment calls and decisions as drivers. Okay, and then I think once you get comfortable with that, then you're not too far away from being able to do that more sort of full-on style of commentary driving. And then once you get there and you're really comfortable in talking about where you're looking, what you're looking at, what you're seeing, what you're doing with that information, how you're putting that into practice in the way that you're adapting the control of the car and using all of the information, your planning, awareness, anticipation, to make good judgment calls, then you're starting to head into that category of advanced drivers, and from there it's not too much of a switch over to using commentary driving in more of an instructional style, if you like. So turning those pieces of commentary into both sort of statements or instructions and also questions, which I've shown you examples of in other training videos. If you haven't checked those out yet, go and have a look at them, because I think linked to this one, that's really going to make sense. Okay, I hope you found that useful. Do you have any queries or comments? Obviously let us know in the boxes below and we'll get back to you ASAP. And also, let us know how you get on with using this technique as well, whether it's something that you found easy to put into practice yourself, and indeed if you're finding it useful. Okay, cheers, bye.